Hello and thank you for viewing this short presentation on the book chapter Attributions and Motivation. The chapter focuses on discussing the question, how do attributions affect motivation, by providing an insight into the ways in which we form attributions, how attributions affect and guide our future action, and what we can do to enhance our motivation based on the theory and research of attributions. So firstly, let's talk about what motivation and attributions are. Motivation is a psychological construct that focuses on the processes that drive and direct individuals to behave in certain ways to achieve their goals, while attributions are the causes people construct about the outcomes of their own behaviour, others' behaviour, and events. Attributions are important because they help us to make sense and understand the situations that unfold throughout our lives. Werner built a theoretical framework focusing on the link between attributions and motivation. He proposed that people seek to understand why they succeed or fail and was interested in how this affects their motivation to engage in similar tasks in the future. Werner also states that we attribute a cause to a number of factors, such as ability, effort, task difficulty, and luck. Furthermore, he offered a model of attributions consisting of three main properties. Locus refers to causes that are internal or external. For example, Jennifer fails an exam and attributes this to not studying enough. This is an example of an internal attribution. On the other hand, if Jennifer were to attribute her failure to bad luck, this would be an example of an external attribution. Stability refers to causes that are stable or unstable. Again, take the example of Jennifer. If she attributed her failure to the lack of sleep the night before, this is an example of an unstable attribution because the cause, which is tiredness, is likely to change in the future. Control refers to whether a cause is controllable or uncontrollable. Jennifer failed her tests but attributes this to the teacher always setting extremely hard tests. This would be out of Jennifer's control. Therefore, in future, she's less likely to try and may even develop the mentality of why bother. Attribution theories fall under the concept of Vroom's expectancy theory of motivation. This proposes that motivation can be explained in terms of an individual's perception of how well they are likely to perform or succeed on the task, the extent to which the individual believes performing the task will lead to desirable outcomes, and the value they place on these outcomes. The relativeness of attributions in this domain is that the causal properties overlap with these aspects of motivation. To demonstrate, if individuals expect they will be successful in attaining a particular goal, they'll be more motivated to give it their best attempt and persist in their efforts. However, if individuals expect an unsuccessful outcome, they may be less motivated to put forth the effort. They may even become more motivated to find ways to prevent themselves from succeeding because of their expectancy of failure. Doing something like this is referred to as self-handicapping, which is when individuals purposely place barriers or find ways to impede their own success when failure is anticipated. By doing so, an individual can attribute failure to this barrier or handicap instead of their lack of ability. The self-serving bias, on the other hand, is another phenomenon related to attributions, and this is the tendency for individuals to attribute success to internal factors and failure to external factors. So with all of this in mind, let's put it all together to see the overall picture of how attributions can affect motivation. When we have experienced the outcome of an unexpected, negative, or important event, the process of attributing a cause occurs. When we form an attribution, the causal dimension in which the cause is placed along are intertwined with expectancy and effect. Specifically, the stability of a cause influences an individual's expectancy for future success, and controllability influences our emotional reactions to the outcome of the situation. Finally, expectancy and effect are presumed to guide and determine action. So in summary, attributions influence expectancy and effect, which in turn influence motivated behaviour. So how can you improve your life by applying knowledge from the theories and research based on attributions and motivation? Try to attribute failures to internal, unstable and controllable causes such as low effort or to an ineffective strategy rather than your lack of ability. Avoid being distracted by anticipation of failure and instead focus on the task. Re-evaluate your actions to identify alternative ways to problem solve instead of just giving up. Making use of these suggestions will encourage more constructive evaluations of your successes and failures and maintain as well as improve your motivation. Further information on improving your motivation can be found in additional book chapters located within the University of Canberra's Motivation and Emotion 2014 online book on understanding and improving our motivational and emotional lives using psychological science. Here are the references used throughout this presentation as well as the book chapter. This presentation is in the public domain and is copyright free. Thank you for viewing this presentation and I hope you enjoy the book chapter Attributions and Motivation.
Created using Powtoon.